From Ukraine's Black Sea coast, this is Josh Friedman coming to you on Parliamentary Election Day here in Ukraine. Rather than reporting from Kiev today, I'm coming to you from Odessa in the south and along the Black Sea coast, a very fitting place to be in the summer, but nonetheless, let's proceed with what's at stake today. If we go back 3 months, I was here, or rather in Kiev at the time. Volodymyr Zelensky, a very popular actor and comedian, was elected president of Ukraine. He won overwhelmingly in the presidential runoff against incumbent Petro Poroshenko. Zelensky garnered more than 70% of the vote, yet he did not have any backing from Ukraine's parliament, known as the Verkhovna Rada. And because of that, on inauguration day, Zelensky immediately called for snap elections. So here we are. The elections actually were due to take place later this year, so they haven't been moved up that much, but it is July 21st, 2019, and it is early election day here in Ukraine. So has Zelensky maintained the momentum and the popularity that he had back in April? Well, it appears for the most part the answer is yes. Entering today's vote, Zelensky, or rather Zelensky's Servant of the People party, had been polling at above 40%, as high as about 50%, somewhere around the 40 to 50% range, which gives Zelensky the chance at possibly securing an outright majority in the parliament, although it's not expected, and it seems as though he's going to need some sort of coalition in order to rule the parliament, and we'll be discussing that momentarily. You may recall that Servant of the People was Zelensky's popular television show in which he actually played the role of someone who out of nowhere gets elected president of Ukraine, and that role has I guess come to fruition in more than one way. Zelensky has been in power for a couple months now. I wouldn't say a whole lot. I wouldn't say there major changes have taken place yet, largely because, as I mentioned, he doesn't have the support of the parliament, but Zelensky has been trying to purge some old Ukrainian officials, and he's now got this party, this upstart party, that's running a bunch of basically political novices on their party list, their list of candidates. So there are definitely major changes. It's definitely seems like there are changes in the works, but then again, maybe we haven't seen such major changes yet. Nothing major has changed with regard to Ukraine and Russia and the fighting in Donbass, or the occupied territories. There is a new party that, I guess in a sense, is kind of like a smaller version of Zelensky's new Servant of the People party. This other new party is called Holos, which means voice, and it's the party of a Ukrainian rock star, and they're polling at around 5%, a little more than 5%, which is the threshold to enter the parliament. And if this Holos party indeed gets into the parliament, then that potentially could be Zelensky's coalition partner. The other parties, which are all way behind Servant of the People in the polls, are coming in second in the current polling is the pro-Russian party, a pro-Russian party that is kind of new now, called, or this party is called the Opposition Platform for Life. They're polling at a little more than 10%. And then you've got former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko. He's got his party that's a little rebranded. Former Premier Yulia Tymoshenko. She's always around. She's got her party that's polling at somewhere maybe around 7 or 8%, that both of them are expected to get into the parliament, although they're not expected to be such formidable challenges to Zelensky's rule and the rule of servant of the people. The polls are supposed to close at around 8 today. Before I get to my little preview of maybe what's to come on election evening, though, I'd like to mention a little bit about Ukraine's electoral system, or the Verkhovna Rada electoral system. So it's a 450 seat parliament, just a single chamber parliament. And the way it's set up, although this is in the process of changing, it'll change in the future, but the way it's set up now is that there's supposed to be 225 seats that are decided in the nationwide vote. The party lists generate those 225 seats, and then another 225 seats which this is the part that's expected to change in the future, that another 225 seats are decided in local district elections with one man taking all. Whoever receives the highest vote total in these electoral districts gets elected as a parliamentarian. But because some of the districts are controlled by separatists or fall in the jurisdiction of Crimea, not all of those districts are taking place in this election. So somewhere, actually I believe it's something like 26 of those districts are not taking place in this election. So the way it is right now, a slight majority of the parliament is elected in the nationwide vote, and slightly less of a total is elected in this district format. Kind of remains to be seen whether Zelensky and his Servant of the People party might be hampered by this district voting format. It's kind of an old school thing, and there's a lot of corruption alleged to be involved in the process, but they haven't eliminated it from the system yet, and that's how the election's going to be taking place. Zelensky is promising major reforms and a very major battle against corruption. The Holos party has got similar rhetoric, and we'll see whether Zelensky gets a mandate or gets control of the parliament in order to implement some of these reforms that he is promising. So I'll be reporting back to you this evening. Election results at least preliminary election results should be coming in this evening. I haven't decided yet whether I'll be coming to you with a live stream or another video report like this, but nonetheless I'll be reporting to you on the results as they're coming in tonight. I think we'll get something pretty definitive, if not getting the formal results tonight. So I think we should have a pretty clear picture of at least who's won and who's entering the parliament tonight. So I'll be reporting back to you from beautiful Odessa on Ukraine's Black Sea coast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you shortly.